Thank you to everyone for joining us. We're just going to give it another few minutes as we let the rest of our attendees filter in from the waiting room. If you just bear with us, we'll get started shortly. Thank you. Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Laura Egan O'Brien and I'm the Marketing Manager for the College of Engineering and Architecture here in UCD. I'm going to be your host for today's session. So whether you're joining us from near or far, we hope you have a good time with us at the webinar, that you find the content both engaging and informative. The webinar today is all about study opportunities and kind of the future careers from programs within our School of Civil Engineering. And I'll be joined by our head of school, some of our academic program directors and two of our current students as well to share their experience so far. Before we get started, just a quick reminder that if you do have questions, we'll get through as many of them as we can today and hopefully answer them for you. And just type them in using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Type them as they come to you and we'll wait till the end of the presentations to get through as many as we can. Also keep an eye on the chat as my colleague Kate O'Neill is also joining us and she'll post any relevant links that are mentioned throughout the webinar today, so keep an eye on that as well. And then lastly, just to let you know that the session is being recorded. So if you need to leave early, miss anything, or know of anyone who couldn't attend or register for the session today, that recording will be shared with anyone who registered later this week, and also available on our college YouTube channel early next week. So that's all from me. So without further ado, we'll get started with the session as we have planned. So I'm going to hand you over now to Associate Professor John O'Sullivan, who's the head of school for civil engineering here in UCD.
Thank you, Laura, and my colleagues, and welcome all students that are joining the session. I hope we are in a position to give you the information that you're seeking. So as Laura mentioned, if there are any questions outside of this session, you can certainly feel free to direct those to myself personally. All of my details are on the UCD Civil Engineering website, and I'd be quite happy to address any queries or questions that you may have. So I'm just going to begin by sharing my screen. I have a number of slides that I'm going to run through, and I hope you can see my screen. So as Laura mentioned, John O'Sullivan is my name. I'm the head of School of Civil Engineering currently, and this is a role that is student facing. So if you do come to UCD, you will have an opportunity to engage personally with me, which would be great. And the purpose of my slides this afternoon are to give an overview essentially of the school. My colleagues will talk more specifically about the programs that we offer, and they might have specific appeal to some of you. Again, just by a bit of geography, perhaps, Ireland is a small country located on the east side of the Atlantic Ocean, as we can see. So separating the UK and America, as we see it on the map. But it's a very significant country, and it's very significant in a number of ways. Its universities being one, but its landscapes are also of huge value to us. And we house or host a number of UNESCO sites, and these are of interest to all visitors to the country, including our students. So Skellig Michael is one of those UNESCO sites, and people maybe with an interest in Star Wars will have a familiarity with the role of Skellig Michael in the development of the imagery in the Star Wars films. Ireland itself then is, as I say, a small country, a population of over 5 million people. But some of the important criteria that may be relevant to you in making decisions are highlighted on the slide here. So it's a very safe country, and it's ranked third out of 163 countries in a global perspective. It's very significant in terms of its business relationships and foreign direct investment. The population of the country is also very young. In happiness index, it scores very, very highly. It has a high quality education system, and it currently has a very robust, growing and resilient economy. And of course, this economy serves as the serves to provide employment opportunities for graduates of all of the university's programs, including, of course, the engineering programs. And that's something that we're very proud about. UCD is University College Dublin, so of course it's located in the city of Dublin, which is the capital city of Ireland. And Ireland being a small country, all locations in the country are accessible. So as an example, Dublin is about 2 hours away from Galway, and that's the distance from east to west in the country. About 2.5 hours away from Cork, and that's the distance from Dublin to the southwest of the country. And then 2 hours north of the country to Belfast. So the border, the country is bounded in a very compact geographic setting. The city itself is very easy to navigate, very compact, walkable, many public transport opportunities to assist students and people in their travels. It's recognized as the European tech capital. It's bordered on the south by a mountainous region, to the east by the Irish Sea, and then to the west by the Atlantic Ocean. So we're quite rich in our sea boundaries. It served as a gateway to Europe. And as I said, it sits on the east coast of the country. So that's the geography of Dublin in the context of Ireland. UCD, of course, then is located within Dublin itself. So it's on the south side of the city. And it's the largest urban campus in Europe. So it's spread across 133 hectares. And all of the facilities, be they the university facilities, the student facilities, the green spaces, the sports facilities, the open spaces, they're all housed centrally on the campus. The university itself was founded in 1854 by John Henry Newman. It's an intensive university, ranked in the top 1% of higher education institutions worldwide. And it's the university of choice for most students in Ireland. So it's the biggest university in the country with over 38,000 students. It's very diverse culturally. We have students from across 152 nationalities. And 11,000 of those, or just over 11,000, are graduate students. And of course, as with any university of its scale, it's heavily supported by a whole range of student support services and activities, and they would include student societies and many sports clubs. So really, there's an opportunity for students to engage in anything that would be of interest to them. Very, very diverse range of opportunities outside of their studies. And there's a whole range of supports for all of the students in UCD, and they would include opportunities through recruitment fairs for us to connect students to potential employers. We have academic internships in some of our programs, including some of our engineering programs. We have a whole range of development credit-bearing modules, and students can choose those. And there's a very extensive careers network service in the university, again, to support students in contacting or reaching out to potential employers. Within the College of Engineering and Architecture, this is where our school resides. So there are 6 schools in that college, 5 engineering and 1 APEP that includes architecture and landscape architecture. It will be the first choice engineering college for most Irish students. And we would have a whole range of undergraduate offerings for our students, in addition to over 30 taught master's programs. And as I said, my colleagues will talk specifically about the taught master's programs that may be of interest to you within our school. There's just some statistics there of the college at a glance. I'm not going to go through them in any great detail, but maybe the scale of the research is epitomized in the number of PhD researchers we have. So typically, at any time, the college would host between 400 and 500 PhD researchers. It's research intensive, and of course, that's evidenced by very strong research metrics. So over the last 5 years, we've published across the college over 6,000 peer-reviewed publications. And we can clearly see that the research intensity of the college is reflected in very significant research income to the college that serves to support our PhD and our graduate research programs that are ongoing all of the time. And a very significant number also of taught master's students, over 700, as we see also on the slide. Within civil engineering itself, we are currently ranked in the range of 101 to 150 in QS subject rankings, and we're again working to enter the top 100 in those rankings. Within the school, we're all research active, and again, very significant amounts of research funding to support our PhD students within the school comes into the school. We have 2 research centres that are the vehicles through which we conduct all of the research in the school. And those research centres are the Centre for Critical Infrastructure Research and the Centre for Water Resources Research. And all faculty and all students in the school will reside in one or both of those research centres, depending on the projects that they're involved in. All of the staff in the school are heavily engaged in teaching as well. So students that come to the school will be taught by these high quality faculty and research staff. And all of the school faculty would be engaged in teaching, applications for teaching awards, publishing and teaching journals. So that would also be a remit of the school. So being active in the research space that deals with teaching and learning is something that's important to us all. And of course, we've got a range of very extensive facilities that support students within the school, as one might expect. We engage with the schools with students in a number of ways. So we value very significantly what students say about the facilities we offer, the fabric of our building, the environment of the building, and so on. So that's something that's very important to us. We consider ourselves to be very front-facing, so we get to know our students, the students get to know us. And we have a range of fora through which we engage directly with students, the Staff-Student Newstead Forum being one. Students also engage with the Civil and Structural Engineering Society, and academics would also be involved in contributing to some of those activities. And then we support engagement between staff and students through social gatherings, coffee mornings, and so on. And in addition, then we've got a very important aspect that deals with the academic and welfare support structure. So we utilize university resources such that we've got these supports available for our own students in the school. Employment opportunities are very significant for any student considering something to study, and of course engineering and civil engineering is no different. We have very strong relationships with industry. We have an industry advisory group that supports our programs. Industry engages with the provision of internship opportunities for all of our students, and we also conduct research through collaborative research initiatives with industry. Industry also contributes to our teaching, so it would be very unusual for modules not to have some sort of guest lecturing or occasional lecturing or contributions to our program from our industry partners. And they also support site visits and other activities that are relevant to the delivery of our programs. So that's something that's of huge value to us, and again, something that we're very proud of as a school. So I'm not going to talk specifically about the taught masters programs because my colleagues will do that in a few minutes. But I've just illustrated here a number of aspects of all of the programs within the school. So critical thinking, problem solving, this underpins everything that we do. The utilization of specialized tools, numerical tools, physical simulation modeling, laboratory facilities, of course, are all very, very important. And they focus on the kind of hard skills that we like to instill and embed in our students and in our programs. Now, in addition to that, we've also got the softer skills, and these are equally important, and they allow for effective communication, the provision of opportunities for students to work independently, but also to work in teams, and all of this then in a capacity that's contributing to critical thinking and lifelong learning. So that's all I'm going to say. There's a link to the school website. All of my details and my colleagues' details will be available on that website. And as I said at the outset, if anybody watching the seminar has any specific questions, certainly please free to direct those to myself, and I'll take care of them. So
Great.
that's me, Laura. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, John. Really comprehensive overview of the school, some really great initiatives that the school is doing, and a really great environment for learning and for research, which is great. So next up we have is we're going to move into the more program specific part of the session today. So we have Dr. Yuan Shen, who's our program director for our ME in Civil, Structural and Environmental Engineering.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm very happy here today to provide you an overview of the ME in Civil, Structure and Environmental Engineering program. Just start with the vision and values of the program. So this is basically 2-year professional accredited third post graduate program. And the program provides advanced learning in the field of civil, structural, and environmental engineering, especially addressing like learning outcomes required for a career in civil engineering. But the numeric and problem-solving skill you developed in this program will also provide you access to other professional career in other engineering disciplines, such as business, finance, policy development, and project management, etc. So the learning experience includes 2 semesters of lectures, tutorials, studio work, and group project work with 8 months work placement in industry and our individual research project. So assessment is by a combination of end of semester exam and continuous assessment, so which takes the form of individual assignment, practical laboratory work, and group project for taught modules. These are complemented by leadership roles in modules for undergraduate students and a series of presentation, or written thesis, and oral examination of your for your research project. So this gives you an overview of the course module structure. Basically, you need to earn a total of 120 credit over 2 years. So in year 1, stage 1 autumn semester, you will take 6 core modules. And in stage 1 spring semester, all students will initially registered for the professional work experience. That's the internship module, which spans from the spring to summer trimesters. But for students who are not able to secure an internship, you will need to take 3 or 4 modules to earn the total of 30 credit in the spring semester. So in stage 2, the autumn semester, you will do a research project. This is 10 credit for the autumn, and plus 2 core modules and 1 option modules. So in the spring trimester, you will continue with your research project in addition to 2 core modules and 1 or 2 option modules, depending on the credit of these modules. So you can find more details, all the details on the course website. Simply search UCD and the program code T298, and you will find all the details on the website. So the program is accredited by Engineers Ireland. That means you will automatically meet the educational standard for chartered engineer after graduate from this program. And this is recognized by many countries through the Washington Accord. Speaking of career perspectives, there are many job opportunities. For example, most of our students graduates working in consultancy, and also like contractors and energy sector, management, A few of them could find a job in the government and regulatory agencies. Also, there's a possibility to work in these quantitative companies like Google and Microsoft. As mentioned, there's a significant job opportunities, and these figures just show you the statistics of our previous employability. Basically, 100% of our graduates are employed within 9 months after graduation. So there's really a very good job opportunities. That's it, and this is my contact detail. And if you have any further inquiries, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. So next speaker we have up is Associate Professor Arturo Gonzalez, who's our Program Director for our MNJSC in Structural Engineering.
Thanks, Laura. I'm going to share my presentation. As Laura said, I'm the Program Director for the Masters in Structural Engineering. So this program consists of a specialization in structures and it can be taken full-time in 1 year after successful completion of 90 credits. So these 90 credits, they are distributed in 3 trimesters, autumn, spring, and summer. But this program can also be taken half-time, and this is usually the option preferred by people who is working, and then it's going to take 2 years. So the people taking the half-time option would take like half the amount of credits, 45 credits each year, to complete the masters. I'm going to go briefly through the contents of this master so you can see what you could learn in this masters. So in the autumn trimester, we deliver the core modules. This is a multidisciplinary program. So we have a combination of modules delivered by our schools. So these are the modules you have here in white background. So this could be delivered by the School of Civil Engineering. But also we have modules delivered by architecture. It's the case of the first module here, Realizing Build Project. By mathematicians, which is the case of the module here, Quantitative Methods for Engineers. So within these core modules, for example, you're going to learn about more advanced topics than those you saw during your graduation. For example, how to design a building against earthquake loading. This is something you could learn in structural dynamics. In the case of advanced materials, you could learn how to deal with modern materials, for example, F4P, that are not that sensitive to corrosion as reinforced concrete or steel might be. In other modules, as analysis of the structures 3, you're going to be learning how to carry out nonlinear calculations. Most of the calculations you have taken during your graduation, your graduate degree will have been linear, but in ultimate limit state, well, the material is working in the plastic range. So here we learn how to calculate these plastic calculations, and also we learn how to deal with other nonlinear effects, for example, geometric. And this is what happens in the tall buildings, where the displacements will cause the stiffness of the structure to change. When we move to the second trimester in the spring, this time you can tailor the master to your needs. So you still need to do 30 credits, the same as in the autumn, but this time you have a choice out of 40 credits. Again, you have a combination from different disciplines. Agency Design Build here is a module delivered by architects, where you go through all the stages, from the first talks to the clients to the actual construction of a real structure. So as you can imagine, this takes place in a term. So it's going to be a simple structure like the one you see here, a pergola. Other modules you can choose from here are Design of Structures 3. These are delivered by practitioners. As John was pointing out before, we have a strong input of industry into our programs to be in touch with the reality. In the case of Design of Structures 3, you're going to be doing a lot of examples of the Eurocode, advanced examples of steel and concrete. And this is delivered by a lecturer that was involved with the design of a landmark in Dublin, such as the Borghese Theatre that you can see here in the picture. Then the bridge engineering, well, this is delivered by academics, although we have some guests from industry. And here we follow the book Bridge Deck Analysis. And this is a bestseller in the field that has been published by our professor, Eugene O'Brien. Again, the structures don't fly, so we have a module on geotechnics to deal with the foundations of the structures. Engineering design project, well, this is the case of a module, again, that is delivered by industry. And here is, well, you carry out projects as you would do in real life in a consultancy. And well, it counts for 10 credits. So if you take this one, you only need to take another 4 of the other credits that are only worth 5 credits to add up to those 30 credits. Finally, the last 2 modules you have here, these ones are delivered by the School of Mechanical Engineering in topics that are related to structures. For example, the first one here, energy systems in buildings one, is related to energy efficiency in buildings. The second one, professional engineering management, deals with everything related with the management of a project from finance to law, etc. And the last term, well, is fully focused on the structural research project. It's worth 30 credits. So really the research project, this is something you're going to start in the autumn, and it goes for the entire year. So at the end of the autumn, they're going to ask you for a research plan. In the spring, they're going to ask you for a literature review. And finally, at the end of the summer, you need to submit your project, and you're going to you'll need to defend it, do a presentation and defend it in an oral examination. And here in the research project, you have another chance to tailor the masters to your needs. Okay, so at the start of the program, you're going to be provided a list of titles with descriptions, and here you can choose the topic that you would like to explore further for your future. All our materials, they'll be available for all these modules in Brightspace, which is our virtual learning environment. You can find here videos, lecture notes, and so on. If you take one of our programs, you have access to our suite of software that includes advanced structural packages such as Nastran, ANSYS, of course, MATLAB, Microsoft Office, and so on. And also of our electronic resources in the library, subscribe to the most important journals, also some books available online that will be very useful to carry out not only your research project, but also to practice some of the modules. Finally, if you need more information on each of these modules I was mentioning before, I think the easiest way to access the program is just if you go to our main page, civil engineering page, in the top banner. If you scroll through the top banner, I mean, you can see the different masters that we're providing. So if you just click here, this will bring you to a page where you can see what you learn in each module, how you learn it, how you will be assessed, and so on. So here you have my details. Well, in this page, you can also find details for all the program directors. If you need more information, please just let us know. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Arturo.
Yes.
So our next program director we have up is Dr. Ekin Ozer, who's our program director for our ME in Civil Engineering.
Hello, everyone. I'm just sharing this screen. Okay, thanks for joining our information session today. My colleagues talk about our master's programs in UCD School of Civil Engineering, and I will continue with the introduction, and I will introduce you our our dual degree with a partner university, Columbia University in the city of New York. And this is ME in Civil Engineering, and it consists of 2 stages. Stage 1, which corresponds to year 1, takes place in Dublin, UCD, and the campus Belfield. And in autumn, you complete 30 ECTS credits, and this consists of 6 core modules. In spring and summer, there are different possibilities, professional work experience or design project plus optional modules will correspond to another 30 ECTS credits. And you complete the first year in UCD, and the second year takes place in Columbia University in the city of New York, United States. And this corresponds to stage 2, where you take 30 US credits. And this is equivalent to 60 ECTS credits in UCD system. And during this time, you perform research individual research and receive credits, as well as there are certain research intensive modules in Columbia curriculum that you can take. And in total, this corresponds to 12 US credits. And then there are taught modules, general postgraduate taught modules, and you can take another 18 US credits from these modules to complete the program year 2 in Columbia University. I will talk about requirements quickly. So for UCD, entry requirements is first cycle honors in Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering or equivalent. And there are language requirements. IELTS is supposed to be 6.5 in general, and each band should fulfill at least 6 or equivalent. Other language proficiencies are also possible. And Columbia requirements is that a minimum GPA of 3.08 from UCD is expected for admission, and usually there is graduate research examination which is expected to be taken, but GRE has been optional for the last few years, and it is optional for the 2025 admission cycle. Since my colleagues talked about UCD and Dublin broadly, so I will introduce you what happens in the stage 2, and I want to talk about our partner university a little bit. So Columbia University is in the city of New York, on the island Manhattan. It's one of the most vibrant places in US, and Columbia has a very long history, and it has very good ranking throughout the world. So in Times Higher Education, it was 18th in the world, and in QS rankings, it was 34th in the world. So Columbia is a very established school. The modules are a variety, and I want to talk a little bit more about the research opportunities that you can conduct at Columbia. Columbia has a very diverse set of disciplines, including materials, computational mechanics, environmental engineering, fluid mechanics, geotechnics, digital transformation, and modern methods like smart cities and transportation. So you will have a variety of opportunities to work with world-class experts in their field during your stage 2. And Columbia has one of the best established laboratories. Carleton Laboratory is at the basement of Mott Building. Hopefully you will have a chance to see. And this laboratory has numerous features that I cannot shrink into a few minutes. And these are a few views. On the right-hand side, you are looking at a full-scale bridge suspension cable being monitored throughout the different mechanical tests applied on it. Another advantage of having this dual degree with UCD and Columbia is Columbia is one of the most connected schools, especially in the New York State. They are working closely with industrial partners, and this improves the employability of prospective graduates from the program. And just to give you a few examples, Thornton Tomasetti, HNTB, Turner, Jacobs, Parsons, and numerous other key industrial leaders in the construction engineering field are going to be potential employment sources. And this is a new program. We recently had our first graduates from this program, which had remarkable experience in UCD as well as in Columbia. And our latest graduate explains how they gain benefit from the research experience in Columbia, and upon graduation, they secured positions in as a structural engineering in Arup, New York branch. And I will keep it short, but I know you might have queries. If you have any other questions, if you want to discuss anything further, please feel free to reach out to me. And this is my email address. And thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ekin. That's a really interesting dual degree option there. So next we're going to move on to the student experience. So first up we have up is Abel, who's one of our current students in our ME in Civil Structural and Environmental Engineering.
So I apologies, I don't have any slides, but I suppose I'll just talk about my experience. As Laura mentioned, I chose to do DME with civil, structural, and environmental engineering. So I chose this degree as I was just highly interested in building and creating things. And it was throughout my academic life where I actually developed an interest in building structures and kind of fostered that interest into wider fields like environmental and things like fluid dynamics. So my goal was to be able to adapt my learning to the ongoing changes in industry and the environment and how we adapt our learning to the industry. So ways of doing that would be to come up with efficient or effective ways of creating a symbiotic relationship with our environment to reduce our carbon impact, for example. So things that I've found interesting about the course, in particular, there was a few standout modules that kind of hooked me to the actual course itself. So, for example, there's a course where we did applied hydrology, which is based on water engineering. So this allows you to apply real data to. This is the first time you could apply real data within to what you were learning. As part of how I settled into Ireland and UCD itself, I'm an international student. Well, I was born in outside of Ireland, so adapting to Ireland itself was a challenge, but learning the language, the people are nice and open and positive, so there's no challenges there. UCD itself, as John mentioned, it's an open and diverse university. Everyone's really kind and approachable, especially the lecturers. You can go up to them and speak to them after class. And if you have any questions, they're happy enough to help. In terms of the classroom teaching experience, the classes are highly engaging. Open discussions are encouraged and questions are always expected from most of the lecturers, and they encourage it so that other people can learn and benefit from maybe what you might be concerned about or struggling to understand. In terms of the supports available in the university, we have plenty of support, such as the Writing Center, which allows you to, which gives you help with writing your thesis, such as if you might have struggles in a particular field, there's ways we can you can take a course to help you get through it and complete your thesis correctly in a way that into the standard that you feel is right for you. There's also the library laptop loan scheme. There's in terms of there's plenty of supports available, and in terms of the social life, UCD has plenty of clubs and societies. So I joined the swimming club, the climbing club, and it's encouraged to apply for positions within these clubs so that you can obtain necessary skills that you'd like to carry forward. So transferable skills. And a lot of these societies have events on and nights out, and so the social life is highly encouraged.
Great, thank you so much, Abel. Next up, we have another student, and to speak on her experience, Evan, who's from our Masters in Water, Waste and Environmental Engineering.
Hi, sorry, I'll just share my screen there. Can you see that?
Yeah, you're all good.
Okay, so my name's Ivan, and I just thought I'd prepare a few slides and give a brief journey of a brief story of my journey through UCD and how I got here. So I did my undergraduate degree in Trinity College Dublin. I studied geography and geoscience, so it's a study of the planet, human environment interactions, focusing on geochemical analysis, earth resources, volcanology, and so from there I went and started a contract with Aurum Exploration, and I worked on the TELUS survey, which is a national project which involves the gathering of geochemical and geophysical data across the country. And so from there I was at a bit of a turning point. You know, do I continue down this geology career or do something else? And I've always wanted to pursue a degree in engineering, as I have a passion for the environment and sustainability. So I chose to apply to UCD to the Masters of Water, Waste and Environmental Engineering. This course it covers a wide range of subjects, including engineering, hydrology, environmental modelling, water, wastewater treatment, solid waste management, and environmental data analysis. And so I chose this course because I've always wanted to pursue environmental engineering, but also because me having a geoscience background limited my options quite a bit. And the entry requirements for this master's did say that any environmental related degree would be allowed into the course. So I was thrilled when I got accepted for this master's. And so some things that I've really enjoyed about UCD in terms of the coursework include my research project. I'm looking at the peatland health condition using GIS and remote sensing, and I've had to learn loads of new skills like Python and QGIS. So it's really broadened my horizons. And just I have some modules listed there that I really enjoyed throughout the course of the year. I'm still pursuing some of them, but I found them really, really interesting. And the lecturers are really good and kind and very approachable. I've also had help in my research project with 2 PhD students, and they've been lovely and very helpful to me. So it's been a really great experience so far. So the overall teaching class experience has been great. And for careers and post-degree, and how this degree is preparing me for my future career, it already has helped me to secure a job in a company called IESA. I'll be starting part-time in the summer as a graduate engineering geologist, and I wouldn't have been able to have this opportunity without pursuing this master's. So yeah, I found the process really great. Really enjoyed my time here. Made a lot of new friends. Everyone's very approachable. The campus is great. So great resources that's everything.
Great, thanks so much, Evan. We have some time for some questions towards the end of our webinar now. So we have a couple of open questions in the Q&A box here, so I'm going to get through as many as we can because I'm conscious we're tight on time now. My colleague Katie's joined us on. Katie, I might just throw a couple of the application kind of type questions to yourself, if that's okay. So someone was asking how many degrees can they apply for with the application fee?
Yeah, so good news, you can apply for as many as you like once you've paid the application fee. You can only accept one offer.
Great. And then what are the closing dates for the applications?
So at UCD, we offer a rolling application. So basically, we don't have a hard deadline. We stay open until all the seats are filled. But I would certainly advise to apply sooner rather than later to avoid disappointment.
Great. And what kind of documentation will someone need to submit along with their application?
So we'll be looking primarily at your bachelor's degree transcripts. If you need English language, information around the university that you're at. And then obviously with your transcripts, we're going to see what modules you have studied. If you have not taken your English language test or don't have your final transcripts, because you could be in your final trimester right now, don't worry, because we can issue a conditional offer and then you can produce those before you start to turn that into a full offer.
Great, thank you. And then some of the academics may want to jump in, but Katie, with regards to entry requirements for our programs within the School of Civil Engineering, if someone has a background in applied environmental science or environmental sustainability or technology, which of the programs do you think would be the best suited for them in regard to the entry requirements?
I could let, oh, John's gone. I was about to say if any of the academics want to jump in, but I think Evan was a very good example. She was coming from sorry, I don't have the exact title, but it wasn't an engineering background, and she was suitable for the MN. Do you want to jump in and correct me on the title of your background?
It was a geoscience background, geography and geoscience, so really had no engineering relation at all. But it's been very manageable in terms of modules.
I think that's really, really good to know. So I think if in doubt, either reach out to us or make your application as Evan did as well. And you can see now that she's not having issues with the modules.
Great, thank you. Arturo, if you're there, just someone's asking about the structural engineering program. Does your program address sustainability challenges like climate change impacts?
Well, suppose some of the calculations we carry out, for example, in analysis of structures 3, they are taking place in ultimate limit state. So this is the worst load that it can happen for the lifetime of the structure. So we're going to take, the worst possible earthquake with the worst possible wind that can be combined together, and see how this is affecting our structure and the displacements and the stresses they're going to be subjected to. So the environmental impact, it comes more into the load rather than into the structure. So in some modules, for example, advanced materials is probably more related to the sustainability aspect, because they're producing composite materials that take into account things like decrease the CO2 emissions and so on. I was mentioning at the start analysis of structures today because I delivered that module, but there are other modules that are more related to sustainability. On the question that you had before, that if I come from a different background, can I join a program? Well, it happens, the modules, they have prerequisites. So we need to make sure that when you take a module, you have the basic knowledge. So these programs, they have core modules. So, I mean, you can check what are the requisites to take each module online. And if you're not sure, you can email directly the program director or the module coordinator, and he'll let you know you have sufficient to take this module on board, or if you need something extra. Thanks.
Great, thank you so much, Arturo. Evan, there's just a question here for yourself. Is just, how is the experience learning new topics and skills moving from a non-engineering background, and how did you find it? I know you mentioned it just shortly there a second ago. Did you find it difficult and manageable?
So I will say there's a really good maths help center in UCD, so that's helped me a lot. And then also my sister is studying engineering, so she's helped me a bit, but it really, for minor things, I think like the lecturers cover a lot of the basics, so you're able to catch up, and it hasn't been a problem for me so far. But I've steered clear of a few of the very mathsy things, but in general, it's been good.
It's been manageable. Good.
Yeah.
Arturo, just back to yourself there. There was just a question around structural engineering softwares that are used in Ireland, which are the most kind of common ones potentially someone wants to explore.
Well, structural packages, the most popular now in Ireland, they are LUAS, ANSYS. ANSYS is probably the most popular. And the one we're using here in college is Nastran, Patran. So Nastran was the first finite element package ever. It was developed as a military secret in the 70s in a military base in Ohio. Then it became commercial in the 70s and the 80s, and everybody copied them. So that's the one we're using because it's more general than ANSYS. ANSYS probably is only for civil. where with a Patlang, I mean, you can do anything. You can analyze a bridge, a car, or a building. You know, it's more of a general purpose package.
Great, thank you so much.
Mm.
There's a question around part-time options. So I might get that person just to reach out to myself or Katie after the webinar today. Just obviously their considerations are a bit more difficult than someone's coming in wanting to do a full-time program. Currently, we have part-time versions of structural engineering and water, waste and environmental engineering, but they do run in tandem with the full-time program, so they're not part-time in the true sense. So just, yeah, reach out to us after the webinar today just to get a better picture of what that might look like for yourself. And then there was just a question around the job market in Ireland. And is it open to international students? I don't know if anyone wanted to jump in specifically on this, but what I would say is that yes, the job market in Ireland is very open to international students. We have a lot of multinationals here. They employ a lot of international people coming in and also from our programs. And they generally will want to go for the best person and the best fit for the job rather than they're wanting to go for specifically an Irish person or an international person. So yeah, if you're the best fit for the job, regardless of where you are from, you will secure that position. So yes, we are open to international students in the job market here in Ireland. And that's pretty much all the questions that we had open. We're kind of running tight on time now, so I appreciate everyone kind of contributing and getting their questions in as they have. So we're going to wrap up the webinar there. Thank you very much to everyone who contributed and to our speakers for great insights into the program, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.